I wrote down the sizes based off the measurements of the window, size that I felt would be good for these letters without covering up too much of the window, but still very visible to passerbyers. So what I want to go with is 156.6 inches by 23.35 inches. Looks good. And I'm going to go ahead and constrain or maintain these proportions. And I'll place it right where I want it. Now, because we have these frames here, we have to understand that the letters will overflow from window to window. Now, one other thing that I see here is that, I have my text, but some of it is in uppercase, some is in lowercase. For maximum impact, I want it all to be in uppercase. So that's no problem. I'll go right back in here. I'll take out everything except for that uppercase A. I'll re-input my text in all caps. Click back on my canvas, give it a second. There it is, beautiful. And I'll line it up just the way I want it. Now again, I'm never stuck with anything. I can always go back and make changes whenever I want to. Okay, I think that's an okay location. Again, we can always go back in and make changes as we need to. And I want to remind everybody that I actually drew this out and wrote down all of my dimensions ahead of time, and I suggest you do the same thing. Trying to freehand it, if you will, on the designer tool will take a lot of time, and it's almost guaranteed that you'll have to go back and make several changes again and again. So it's okay to draw it out beforehand and make any notes that you need beforehand. That will only help you in designing your graphic. So that looks pretty good. And what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead right behind this and add a phone number right here. I'm going to use pretty much the exact same settings as I used for these text. I'm going to have the same color. I'm going to use the same outline. However, the size will probably be a bit smaller. And then after that, we'll pick it up again and we'll place some graphics in this space that we've left open for ourselves to work with. Okay, so I've went ahead and I've inputted the phone number, and we still have our main graphic right here, Arm & Cleaners. Now, one thing I've noticed is that you can see that the letters are actually going above the frame of the window, and that's not really realistic. That won't be what actually happens. So to make this more realistic and to help when I do decide to install the graphic and give myself a better idea of what will actually take place, I'm going to go ahead and click Placement. I'm going to highlight the frame, click it, and then just press the forward button. And remember what we talked about, layers. Everything's been done in layers, and since those frames were made before the Arm & Cleaners text was input, they are behind it, but in reality, they will be in front of it. So I'll just make sure that's selected, click forward, and there it is. That's more realistic. Do the same thing with this one. Select it, click forward. And there we go. We don't have to worry so much about this one right now because there's nothing near it. We may have to worry about it in the future. I do see another problem here. If you look right here, the frame is still beneath the phone number, which once again is not a great representation. There that is, and there this is. I know it looks a little bit different now with the frames in front of these images, but as you'll notice, you see this all the time where frames separate text and images, and it really doesn't look all that bad. It looks pretty fine, actually. So now that we have that, we'll go ahead and move forward and start uploading some of our images. So to upload images, just go to Upload Image, click the button, select Browse, find wherever your images may be, open it, upload, and there's our image. We'll put it right where it needs to be. Again, I do have dimensions for this. I need this graphic to be 45.02 width by 32.6 height. So I'll input that information right there. Tap down. And there we go. Perfect. We'll place it about right there because this image is going to have to share this window with another image. So I'll go ahead and click Upload Image. Select Browse. I will find my next image and then we will pick it up right after that. Okay, so now you'll notice that I have both of my graphics in place, the globe and also the recycle sign. But if you're really paying attention, you'll notice that I made some other changes, some size changes in between placing the graphics. And the reason I did that is because I decided that I needed to make a few adjustments to get the canvas to look the way that I really, really wanted it to look. And that just goes to show you that you're never really locked in to an idea. You can always go back and make changes. You can email yourself those changes and come back to them whenever you'd like to. So I'm going to take one final look at our graphic. Everything looks pretty good. I really like how it came out. And I'm going to go ahead and email it to myself. And you can do the same thing as many times as you like. I'm going to hit OK. And now I have this graphic sent to my email address. Now, let's say you looked at it and you are okay with it and you like it and you're ready to proceed. You can go ahead and click the Add to Cart button. And now, as you'll see, we have our entire window lettering graphic in our shopping cart. You can see a sample of it in the left-hand side right here. And you also have your pricing per quantity. And for our purposes, we're just going to go ahead and click 1. Now, even at this point, if I still saw some things that I might want to change, I can always go ahead and click this Customize It button, and I would return to the Sign Designer tool. I can continue on customizing my graphic. But right now, I think it looks really good, and I like it. So we're just going to go ahead and click Add to Cart. And here we are. As you can see, I have my item right there with a picture. I have a description, my quantity, which I can update at any time. I even have my price. So if I'm ready to go and I'm all set, I can go ahead and either click Checkout or I can click Checkout with PayPal if I'm more comfortable paying with PayPal. And that concludes this part of our tutorial. In our next section, we will print and install our graphic. We'll see you then.